Hola amigos, ¿qué tal? Stuart here from Spain Speaks with an update on the current situation here in Spain. Day 74 of the current crisis. That's right, Dia 74 of the current crisis here in Spain. And hasn't the time just flown by? Now, firstly, a big thanks to all of the people that left comments on the last video. Lots of comments there, lots of debate happening. Good to see. Big thanks to all of the people that supported the channel through a small donation. You can see your names here. A big thanks also to the people that bought merchandise, and a big thanks also to my patrons on Patreon. Thank you for your support. Now, today's video is all about travel corridors, whatever that means. It's one of these new expressions that has popped up over the last few weeks. And to be honest, they're going to have to rewrite the dictionary when this crisis is over with all of these new words and concepts that have popped up over the last couple of months. And as we can see here, Germany has called for an opening of internal EU borders by June. The German government will vote on whether to lift its travel warning on 31 European countries by June the 15th. Italy's foreign minister also said that the day the borders open again would be like another D-Day for European tourism. Germany and France are apparently working together to call for a rapid reopening of European borders, and one Spanish newspaper says that the collaboration between Paris and Berlin contrasts with the national and individual initiatives of the Spanish government. So a bit of a slap in the face there for the Spanish government, and it is one of the main criticisms at the moment that the Spanish government is working too unilaterally and not consulting its European partners and looking for common initiatives. And yesterday, the tourism minister here in Spain, Ms. Maroto, came out and said that Spain's proposal for travel corridors could allow international tourists to visit before July the 1st. The measure would provide relief to the Spanish regions most dependent on tourism, such as the Canaries and the Balearic Islands. So there we go, Europe looking to reopen borders and Spain looking to have international tourists here before July the 1st through these travel corridors. But again, what they exactly are is unknown at the moment, and I'm sure it's going to be a question of negotiations between different governments to allow people to have safe travel to a country like Spain over the summer months. Now, Brussels today is planning to launch a recovery plan, and as we can see here, it will be with subsidies and loans to reconcile the countries of the North and South. The person in charge of the plan, Ms. von der Leyen, is committed to a formula that combines both non-refundable aid and repayable loans, a mixture with which it aims to satisfy the countries most hit by the crisis, such as Italy or Spain, and the so-called frugal countries, the Netherlands, Austria, Sweden, and Denmark. So the European Union coming up with a plan to try to reconcile the frugal countries of the north and the spend-happy countries of the south. What's your opinion on that? Do you think the countries in the south of Europe spend money recklessly? Do we spend too much money here on things that we don't need? Should we be more frugal like the northern European countries? What's your opinion? Leave it in the section below. Now, the Madrid community has decided to modify the time slots for children. We can see here that until now, children under 14 could walk with an adult from noon to 7 in the afternoon. But from Thursday, these times will change from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. and from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. at night. So Madrid making some changes there, considering that the weather is now starting to get pretty hot, and other places around Spain have also been modifying these time slots according to the changes in the weather. But unfortunately, this time slot now coincides with the time slots available for the elderly, and if I'm not mistaken, one of the main reasons for the time slots was to protect groups like the elderly from other apparent high-risk groups like children. So now they're going to coincide in their time slot. So again, another inconsistency with this whole time slot scheme here in Spain at the moment. But again, let us know if your time slots have changed in your particular area. Now, some more news here related to the controversial state of alarm, and it is that the government plans to request a last extension of the state of alarm to complete the de-escalation process. Now, remember how difficult it was for the government to get approval to extend the last one, so it's going to be interesting to see if they can get the support to squeeze it out for a little bit longer, or until this de-escalation phase stage, which we're in at the moment, phase 0, 1, 2, and 3, comes to an end. Now, for those of you keeping up to date with news in Spain, no doubt you are already aware of the controversial report that led to the sacking of a high-ranking civil guard officer over the last few days. And we can see here that that report assured that the government knew of the danger of holding demonstrations such as the 8th of March. Now, remember that on the 8th of March, there was a big feminist movement demonstration in many Spanish cities, and many people around Spain hold that weekend in demonstrations like that one responsible for the rapid spreading of the virus here in Spain. Spain. And the report also revealed that the government delegation in Madrid asked its staff in February for social distancing. The department indicated that avoiding crowds was more important than hygienic measures. The report of the civil guard that caused the dismissal of Colonel Diego Perez de los Cobos reveals throughout its 81 pages that the government delegation in Madrid contemplated on February the 28th, just a few days before March the 8th, that its workers adopt social distancing measures to avoid possible contagion, stressing that these types of precautions were even more important than the use of masks in preventing the spread of the virus. The report prepared that day was sent to workers on March the 2nd. And this is one of the big news stories that's playing out at the moment, whether or not the government knew of the risks of public gatherings before March the 8th and why nothing was done to stop them. Because remember, after that date, we went into that very severe lockdown. So could some of the strict lockdown measures have been avoided? That's the question people are asking. Now, some more news here related to beaches, and the beaches of Malaga will open from sunrise to sunset and will be controlled with an app and cameras. And the Andalusian government has also decided to hire 3,000 beach guards whose main task will be to check that the security measures for the virus are being met in Andalusia on the beaches. And they're also going to get a salary of 1,900 euros per month, which in my opinion is a pretty good salary in that part of the world. So no doubt there's going to be very long lines of people lining up to get that job, especially considering the salary that they're going to be paying. And I imagine there's going to be a few enchufados there as well. Now let's have a look at some of the comments from the last video. One here from M. Bailey. He says, "Bonjour, Stuart. It seems that France also has a tourism that suffered during the crisis, and the French authorities will do everything possible to keep the holidaymakers at home. Thank you for your information, which is always very interesting." Yeah, thanks for the comment. I have no doubt that a lot of governments are going to try to promote internal tourism this year. Here in Spain, it's already being heavily promoted, and no doubt France is trying to do something similar. Because let's be honest, there's a lot of money in tourism, and everybody wants that money to stay local if possible. So I imagine there's going to be a real fight for that tourist dollar over the next few months. Another one here from Desmond. On a similar note, don't reckon many peeps here in the UK will be going overseas for a few months, if not next summer. I'll be going to Wales, I think. Another one here from Simon. Spain, I'm staying home this year, helping to build up our own economy. Yeah, that's it. I'm sure there are many people deciding to do the same thing. Stay in France, stay in the UK, stay in Ireland, stay wherever you are. Stay at home and help build the local economy. I don't know where you would consider going in the UK. Maybe you could head to Blackpool, maybe Bognor Regis, maybe you could go to the British Riviera. Some of those places people used to go before they started to come to Spain and Greece and Italy and Portugal. So that'd be a big boost for the local economy. I know that in Australia that's what they're planning to do as well, that internal tourism. So if you are deciding to stay at home this year and have your holidays locally, let us know where you're planning to go. One here from Sugud. Hey Stuart, thanks for your updates. I feel the taxes for non-residents are too high in Spain when compared to other countries. And if the government is planning to increase the taxes further, this would make it difficult for people who are willing to relocate to Spain. Cheers. Yeah, good comment. We saw in the video the other day that many experts think that there will be a tax increase in Spain and that we're going to have to retire later, and there will also be less public services. And you're right, I do agree that taxes are a little bit high in Spain, especially if you are self-employed and you have to put that big social security payment on the table every month. And you combine that with your normal taxes, it's a big chunk out of your salary every month. And the corporate tax issue has always been a problem in Spain as well. Not many companies are willing to invest here, especially if they can get lower corporate tax rates in places like Ireland or places like Luxembourg or other places in the EU that charge a lot less corporate tax. And I know that there are other places in Europe that are more attractive from a tax point of view than Spain. One here from SW. Hi Stuart, greetings from the mountains of Estepona. Thanks for keeping us up to date about this whole circus. I'm wondering if it is possible to travel by bus or train between Malaga and Barcelona, both ways. I don't mind telling the police a made-up reason for the travel if I get stopped in a control, but is it even possible? Are the trains and buses going, or is it all closed down? Keep up the good work, mate. We appreciate you a lot. Yeah, SW, as far as I know, the train routes are still running. I think that there is still a train between Madrid and Barcelona because people in Spain have to travel for work. There are people that are allowed to travel around the country for work reasons. If you want to take the risk, it's up to you, but be prepared to be stopped. Another one here from William. Just will not bother until everything back to normal. Yeah, William, thanks for the comment. A lot of people thinking like you, they're just not going to bother this year with holidays abroad. And as we saw before, lots of people deciding to stay at home this year and take advantage of local tourism destinations. One here from Tofa. Great video as always, Stuart. I like the lively comment section too. If you criticize the Spanish government, you can expect some pushback from its ardent defenders. be prepared to get your own country viciously attacked while you're at it. Some people even playing policemen saying who should and shouldn't be allowed to enter makes it fun. Yeah, Topher, you're right. You're always going to get a bit of feedback from people when you start to criticize the government. It doesn't matter what you say. Somebody's not going to like what you say. It doesn't matter what you say. If you attack the government, pro-government supporters are going to attack you. And if you support the government, you're going to get attacked from the other side. So it's a no-win situation. And you're always going to get people telling you to go home. Spanish people are going to say, go back to your own country if you don't like it. What are you doing here? But it's just the way it is. The fact of the matter is that I live in Spain. A lot of the people that leave comments also live in Spain as well. We've got a right to have an opinion. I, for example, have lived in this country for 22 years, which is longer than probably a lot of people that leave comments criticizing me, but that's just the way it is. Water off a duck's back. One here from Michael. Stuart, please keep the videos coming. They're most informative. Here in the Canaries, we went into phase 2 today. In the small town where I live, Tazacorte, on La Palma, more bars have opened around the town square. In the tourist part of town, most places remain closed for obvious reasons. Yeah, thanks for that, Michael. So good to see in phase 2 more places opening up. Of course, those tourist areas are still going to be a bit quiet until these corridors that we mentioned before open up and international tourists start to come back again. But hopefully that's something that the governments can work out and these tourist areas can recover a bit of the life that they have lost over the last 3 months. One here from Scott. Ola Stuart, thanks for the informative updates. They have been a lifeline for me as I left Spain in March to seek refuge in Oz. Do you think it will be possible to walk the Camino de Santiago this year? Yes, Scott, I get a lot of people asking me about the Camino de Santiago, and to be honest, I have no idea. It all depends on what the situation is like in those particular areas, and I don't know whether there will be corridors open for places like that. Of course, they're talking about the islands, opening up corridors for the islands or places in Alicante, maybe in Malaga, but I haven't heard anything regarding the Camino de Santiago, and I know that it is a very popular tourist activity here in Spain, and if I hear anything, I'll let you know. One here from Javier. Hi Stuart, I'm a Spaniard living in Scotland. Thank you very much for your videos. Now it's difficult to find impartial news in Spanish newspapers. Everything is white or black. I'd like to travel to Spain soon, but I'll wait until September. I don't want to waste my money. Yeah, Javier, thanks for the comment. You're right, Spanish newspapers are normally either black or white. There's normally nothing in between. Very difficult to get unbiased opinion. So you sort of have to interpret the news and understand where each point of view is coming from. And that's always been the case in Spain. You've had your right-wing newspapers, you've had your left-wing newspapers, and basically that's what it is. The newspapers feed the population, and a lot of people align their opinions with the newspapers that they read. One here from Esther. Big fan of your videos here. The only one issue you didn't mention regarding traveling abroad for tourism is the new way of flying. Governments want social distancing in the plane, which will bring increases in the air ticket prices substantially, I think. Would like to hear your comments about possible changes at airports and flights. Cheers from the UK. Yeah, thanks for the comment, Esther. That is one of the problems that airlines are facing at the moment. Governments want there to be some type of social distancing on planes, and of course the airline companies want those planes to be as packed as possible. So they're going to have to work something out, and most likely the cost will be passed on to the passengers as it normally is. I actually spoke about this with Nick in one of the videos we did the other day, which is part 2 of that interview, and I'm going to release that video soon, so you can check out our opinions on that topic in that video. And finally, one here from Marco. How to make a small fortune in Spain. Come with a big one. So a bit of humor there from Marco to end the video today, but he's right, not easy to make money in Spain. On that note, I'll start to wrap the video up. Questions or comments, please leave them in the section below. Debate the situation out as you normally do. If you've had a small business in Spain and you've been able to make money, let us know how you did it. I'd love to know the secret. Give the video a thumbs up if you liked it. I'll see you in the next one. Hasta luego.